Farmall H. If you grew up in the Midwest like I did, the name Farmall H is no stranger to you. It debuted in 1939. This was a time when the country was recovering from the Great Depression and preparing for World War II, and farmers needed durable, efficient machines to keep their crops stable. Between 1939 and 1954, approximately 390,000 Farmall HS were produced at the Rock Island plant in Illinois, making it one of the best-selling tractors in the United States at the time. When it was first introduced, an H cost around $2,000, a significant investment, but well worth it for the performance and reliability it provided. The Farmall H featured a narrow frame, large rear wheels, and a tricycle front wheel, making it easy to move between rows of crops. The design is compact but sturdy, with a striking red paint job, not just a color, but part of the Farmall identity. The heart of the machine is a 152 cubic inch, water-cooled, 4-cylinder engine. The engine is simple, uncomplicated, but it runs well, starts well, and is easy to maintain. The driver can use gasoline, distillate, or even kerosene, depending on the availability of each area. The Farmall H produces about 24 horsepower at the drawbar and 26 horsepower at the belt pulley, enough to pull a double-bladed plow, a hay baler, or operate medium-sized farm equipment. For the farmer of the 1940s, this was a lot of power in a compact body. The machine has a 5-speed gearbox, with an easy-to-use lever and a reasonable gear ratio. From tilling, to sowing, to pulling a trailer, the Farmall H is smooth and steady, not too fast, not too slow. The rear PTO runs at 540 RPM, which is powerful enough to run an irrigation pump, a lawn mower, or even a corn grinder. It doesn't have a live PTO like later models, but with a little practice, you can run it all day without any trouble. The Farmall H weighs about 2,845 pounds, is just over 120 inches long, and is about 74 inches tall, solid enough to not slide on soft ground, yet maneuverable enough to back into a barn or shed. With a 17.5-gallon fuel tank, the H can work from sunrise to midnight, with little need to refuel. That's something we, who live and work in the fields, appreciate. When I think back to corn harvests or springtime tilling, I always remember the steady, warm hum of the Farmall H. It was the sound of work, of hope, and of America moving forward. The Farmall H had no electronic controls, no display screen, but it had something that many modern machines lack: reliability over time. A properly maintained H could work for decades, and many still exist today at small farms, vintage tractor festivals, and vintage shows. If you've ever driven a Farmall H, or even just remember your father driving one, I think you know what I'm talking about. It wasn't just a machine, it was a memory, a piece of the soul of rural America. And for me, the Farmall H was the most reliable American tractor of the 1940s, an icon that time has not erased. Case SC. Introduced in 1941, the SC was J.I. Case's response to the growing demand for compact row crop tractors suitable for expanding family farms. The SC was produced at the Racine, Wisconsin, plant until 1954, with a total of about 59,000 units sold, an impressive number for a mid-sized machine. At the time, the Case SC retailed for around $1,700, a considerable investment but one that was considered worth every penny due to its reliability and consistent traction. The SC had a classic design with a tricycle or fixed front axle, allowing it to maneuver easily between rows of corn. Its narrow frame and low ground clearance made it ideal for row planting. The spring-loaded seat provided a comfortable ride for long days in the field. Under the hood was a 154 cubic inch, water-cooled 4-cylinder engine. Later versions were upgraded to 165 CI, providing better performance without sacrificing economy. The SC could run on distillate, gasoline, or a blend of fuel, making it versatile for the rural conditions of each region. According to the results of testing in Nebraska, the Case SC achieved 27.7 horsepower at the drawbar and 31.7 horsepower at the belt pulley, far exceeding expectations for a mid-sized tractor. Thanks to that, it could pull a 14-inch double-blade plow, a harvester, or a straw bale with ease. For many families, the SC was the backbone of the entire crop. The SC was equipped with a 4-speed forward and 1-speed reverse transmission, with an easy-to-operate gear lever, making it suitable for drivers who do not need complicated technology. Rear-wheel drive, 2WD, combined with mechanical steering, provided a direct, sure-footed feel, a feeling that many modern tractors no longer provide. The SC had a rear PTO shaft that spun at 540 RPM, making it effective for operating irrigation pumps, compressors, or mixers. Post-1953 models also featured a live PTO, which improved operator control and maneuverability, a big step forward for the time. Weighing in at about 4,200 pounds and with a wheelbase of more than 83 inches, the SC offered excellent stability while still being compact enough to maneuver in a barn or back into a corner. Large 10x 38-inch rear tires gripped the ground, making them especially useful in soft soils and rainy harvests. The SC was equipped with a 14-gallon main tank, plus a small 1.25-gallon auxiliary tank for starting on distillate fuel, enough to work from dawn to dusk without refueling. If you've ever driven an SC, or simply heard it roaring in the yard when your dad or grandpa started it, you'll understand why I called it the most reliable American tractor of the 1940s. With its simple design, reliable performance, and more than a decade of production, the Case SC has established itself in the hearts of those who love the land, love the fields, and love the feeling of making their own fortune for their families. McCormick W4 Standard. Introduced in 1940, the W4 was International Harvester's answer to the need for a rugged, reliable, standard tractor for expanding farms. Based on the same chassis as the legendary Farmall H, the W4 was designed for flat ground operation, making it especially well suited for beef, corn, or hay farms. Some 24,000 to 36,000 W4s and their variants, the I4, Industrial, O4, Vineyard, and OS4, were produced at the Rock Island, Illinois, plant from 1940 to 1953. At the time of its introduction, a new W4 cost about $1,200 to $1,500, the equivalent of nearly 3 good corn crops at the time. The W4 was low, sturdy, and stable, a true standard tread tractor of the day. The sturdy chassis, with equal front and rear wheels, was suitable for pulling plows, pulling threshers, or simply moving hay trailers. Under the hood was a 152 cubic inch inline 4-cylinder engine that ran on gasoline or light diesel. No electronics, no sensors, just pure mechanics, easy to understand and repair. It started well, ran smoothly at low RPM, and was extremely fuel efficient. According to testing at the University of Nebraska, the W4 produced about 26.2 belt horsepower and 24 drawbar horsepower, enough to power most farm equipment of the era, such as double-blade plows, small combines, and hay balers. The W4 is equipped with a 5-speed forward and 1-speed reverse transmission, allowing the driver to adjust the speed flexibly when plowing, pulling a trailer, or working in the barn. The gear changes are easy and smooth, although the transmission sometimes has a characteristic squeal that those who have driven it will never forget. The W4 has a rear PTO shaft running through the transmission with a standard speed of 540 RPM. Although it does not have a live PTO like later models, it is still capable of operating a hay bale or irrigation pump. Some machines are upgraded with auxiliary brakes and clutches for increased transmission efficiency. With a dry weight of about 3,500 pounds, the W4 is a heavy, stable machine with little slippage even in muddy ground. Overall length is about 114 inches, width is about 67 inches, height is nearly 65 inches, compact enough to back into a barn but large enough to handle heavy work. The W4's gas tank held about 18 gallons, enough for a full day of continuous work without needing to refill. Back then, we would fill up early in the morning and only stop at the farm gas station when the sun went down. More than 70 years have passed, and many W4s are still in operation, even in fields in Iowa, Ohio, and Kentucky, where you can still hear the pop-pop sound every spring. For many of us, those who held iron steering wheels, wore leather gloves, and worked from sunrise to sunset, the W4 was more than just a tractor. It was a companion, a symbol of a time when America was strong and connected to the land. If you've driven a W4, or still have one in your garage, leave a comment with your memories. And if you've never seen it, trust me, this is one of the most reliable American tractors of the 40s. Massey Harris 30. Introduced in 1946, the product of a time when America had just emerged from World War II, agriculture was in need of a quick recovery, and farmers needed a tractor that was both powerful and reliable. Manufactured in Racine, Wisconsin, the 30 epitomized the Massey Harris philosophy: simple, durable, practical. During its 6-year production run, 1946 to 1952, more than 32,000 Massey Harris 30s were delivered to farmers across the United States. The initial retail price was around $2,000 to $65, and with some accessories such as a plow or harrow, the total cost could reach $2,600. A significant investment at the time, but also a commitment to reliability for many years to come. The Massey 30 featured a distinctive row crop design with a tricycle front axle, allowing for maneuverability between rows of crops. The frame was sturdy, but not bulky, about 128 inches long and nearly 74 inches tall, making it easy to move and store. The classic red exterior and prominent Massey Harris logo gave it a sense of both familiarity and pride. The heart of the machine was the Continental F162 engine, 162.4 cubic inches, 4 cylinders, water-cooled. This was one of the most reliable engines of its time, easy to start, smooth running, and not too complicated to repair. Maximum speed was about 1,800 RPM, allowing the machine to operate continuously for hours. According to tests at the University of Nebraska, where legendary tractors are tested, the Massey 30 achieved about 26 horsepower at the drawbar and more than 34 horsepower at the belt pulley. This is an impressive number for a mid-range tractor, enough to pull a 2- or 3-blade plow, or operate a baler, harvester, and water pump. The Massey 30 is equipped with a 5-speed forward, 1 reverse transmission, 2 WD, controlled by an easy-to-operate lever. The dry clutch and simple gear mechanism give the driver a feeling of certainty and precision, something that many modern machines no longer maintain. The rear PTO shaft operates at 540 RPM, allowing connection to most of the auxiliary equipment of the time. The Depth-O-Matic depth adjustment system allows plowing deep or shallow depending on actual needs, a feature that is very popular with farmers who want to control the work to the inch. Weighing in at 3,500 pounds standard and up to 5,200 pounds with ballast, the Massey 30 was not only heavy enough to hold its ground on soft ground, but also light enough to move around the farm with ease. The large tires also helped the machine handle a variety of terrain. The 20-gallon fuel tank allowed the machine to work non-stop from morning to night without refueling, a big plus during the busy harvest season. When I think of the Massey Harris 30, I not only remember the deep rumble of the engine echoing through the rice paddies, but also my father's wrinkled hands on the wheel under the golden afternoon sun. It was more than just a tractor, it was a part of a generation's memory. If you owned or still have a Massey 30 in your garage, I believe it still has life and a story to tell. To me, it deserves to be remembered as one of the most reliable American tractors of the 40s. Oliver 66 row crop. Introduced in 1949, This tractor was the successor to the Oliver 60, built by the Oliver Farm Equipment Company in Charles City, Iowa. Although there are no official production figures based on serial numbers and distribution records, tens of thousands of Oliver 60 SIXS rolled through fields from Illinois to Arkansas between 1949 and 1954. The starting price of a 66 row crop in 1954 was around $1,800 to $2,000, depending on configuration, which was the equivalent of a successful season on a family farm. The Oliver 66 had the familiar look of a row crop tractor, a tricycle front wheel that made for quick turns, making it easy to maneuver between rows of corn. The compact but sturdy body, with Oliver's signature green paint and the prominent gold 66 logo easily recognizable from afar like an old friend in the field. The machine is equipped with a 4-cylinder Waukesha Oliver engine, with a capacity of about 129 cubic inches, available with gasoline, light diesel, or LP gas versions. The engine starts smoothly, revs steadily, is easy to maintain and operates well in many weather conditions, something that American farmers always appreciated at that time. According to testing in Nebraska, the Oliver 66 achieved about 22.5 horsepower at the drawbar and about 25 to 31 horsepower at the belt pulley. That's enough power to pull a double-blade plow, operate a hay press, irrigation pump, or run a small straw harvester, just right for those who farm alone or with their families. A big plus for the 66 was the 6-speed forward 2-reverse transmission, which provided speeds from 2.5 to over 11 miles per hour. Although not as synchronized as modern machines, with a little experience, the driver could operate flexibly and smoothly. This was one of the first tractors in the small segment to have 6 forward gears, a big step forward at that time. The Oliver 66 was equipped with a standard 540 RPM PTO, combined with a hydroelectric hydraulic system, a revolutionary improvement at that time. This system allowed the working depth of the rear tractor to be adjusted without taking off the steering wheel, a dream for farmers at that time. Weighing in at around 3,200 to 3,800 pounds, depending on the configuration, the machine was stable enough for heavy work but still easy to turn and maintain. With an overall length of about 135 inches and a height of more than 85 inches at the steering wheel, the 66 was well suited to the small sheds and narrow aisles of traditional farms. The Oliver 66 row crop was not the biggest, most powerful, or most advanced tractor, but it was one of the most reliable American tractors of the 1940s. With its clever design, powerful engine, and pioneering hydraulics, it contributed to full harvests, hearty family meals, and irreplaceable memories. If you've ever driven a 66, or still have one in your garage, know that you're preserving a piece of American agricultural history. And if you haven't, the machine, when it starts up, still makes a sound that evokes a time of hard work, perseverance, and hope. So, here we are, looking back at 5 of the most reliable American tractors of the 1940s, machines that were not only work tools, but also companions throughout the seasons. If you have driven, repaired, or simply remember one of these machines, I invite you to share your memories in the comments section below. These stories are a living part of the history of American agriculture. Don't forget to like if you see yourself in this video. And subscribe to the channel if you want to continue exploring with me about vintage tractors, real-life stories, and little corners of the past that are being revived. Thank you for watching until the end. See you in the next video, where the old wheels continue to roll, carrying with them memories of a difficult but proud time.